Welcome back to the Motivation Medium podcast. I'm Amber Malone, and guess what we're doing today? Same thing we do every week. We're just collecting information about our feelings and having hashtag zero shame conversations. Today's zero shame conversation is about the overwhelm of juggling.
This is school. This is school. Always has been.
Welcome to the Motivation Medium podcast. I'm Amber Malone, and every week I'll share helpful ways to overcome shame and gentle reminders about embracing self-love. Together, we'll become more curious about our feelings and our human experience. Visit motivationmedium.com for more self-love tools. If you are feeling overwhelmed with the things that you have on your plate, the things on your to-do list, you're not alone. Sometimes you don't even need to have a busy schedule to feel overwhelmed. Sometimes juggling looks like having trouble sleeping, which can also add to the feelings of overwhelm. Juggling can look like navigating work life and then navigating your couple time when it seems like you really have time for yourself or quality time with your partner. Juggling can feel overwhelming when you're combating perfectionism. Ask me how I know. Because you can know it's okay to show up imperfectly and still feel the weight of perfectionism. It's not always easy to prioritize. I know there's a lot of information out there that says you just need to prioritize. Not always easy, right? Especially when you're spending a lot of time and energy perfecting your projects. It's also not always easy when you have a long list of mental standards that require perfect scenarios before you can even give yourself permission to get started. So if you are combating perfectionism and it's contributing to the overwhelm, contributing to the feeling of juggling, you're not alone. Sometimes perfecting takes away from the other things you have going on, your to-do list. And it's like, okay, eventually I'm just going to have to stop and say it's good enough. You're not alone if sometimes even self-care practices. This is the self-care podcast, but I'm telling you, sometimes self-care practices feel like a full-time job on top of whatever else you're doing. So you're not alone if sometimes even your self-care practices, the practices that you enjoy, feel like another list of things to do. And you might know that your value goes beyond the roles you play, right? We hear, well, you're more than a role. You can know that. The thing about roles, though, is that sometimes they come with beliefs that we don't have to adopt. Some examples might be, being a coworker is not enough. I need to be the well-liked, helpful, always productive, learn everything fast team player. And so I think sometimes the beliefs attached to the roles can contribute to the overwhelm. Just something to explore. Being the coworker who learns everything fast might also mean I'm not comfortable asking questions or I'm not comfortable asking for help because I'm supposed to be the team player, productive, learn everything fast coworker. That's part of my role. Well, it's also or could be the belief attached to the role. I'm guessing you can see how the roles we play, like being a sibling, son, daughter, spouse, student, caregiver, whatever the role, can also come with a lot of overwhelming beliefs. I was thinking about some of my own roles and the beliefs I have, and there's a lot. So you're not alone. There's a lot of reasons, obviously, why juggling can feel overwhelming. We have our reasons, right? So in this moment, we get to stop beating ourselves up for feeling overwhelmed or for having struggles. And I say this moment because it helps sometimes to take things one moment at a time instead of, okay, from here on out, I'm always going to be mindful. I like to say we're human and we're always doing our best, and our best is enough. You might choose to take this moment to shift your focus to what you can do to support yourself where you are right now. You might choose to be okay with needing support, okay with reaching out to someone, because you don't have to do everything by yourself if you're feeling overwhelmed. You might choose to be okay with asking someone who is teaching you something to go a little slower, or to repeat what they said, even if you took notes. Sometimes I take notes and I still have questions, or I get to the computer and I'm like, what was I supposed to do again? You might choose to notice what you appreciate about you. You're a great friend. Your perspectives are relatable and refreshing. You're really courageous. You're resilient. You're resourceful. You make a difference. You've experienced painful moments. You've survived a lot, and you're still open to opportunities for compassion, connection, joy, love. You might choose to ask yourself questions like, what would be the best approach or decision for me right now? And then accept and trust your own intuitive wisdom. Your wisdom is enough. You are allowed uninterrupted time to support yourself through a new routine, a new experience, or maybe recovering from a busy week. You get to support yourself with compassion and patience. You're allowed to have a good laugh, even if you're going through an overwhelming experience. Sometimes motivation looks like laughing at something that's so relatable, it's so honest, so real, it makes you smile knowing, okay, I'm not alone. Whatever you choose to do or not do to support yourself, this is your reminder you are doing enough. You are enough. As you know, we're just collecting information and exploring our feelings. Thank you for having this conversation with me today. You know how much I appreciate you, and I am looking forward to talking to you again next week.